Am I the a-hole for divorcing my wife after she refused to help me financially in difficult times? I, 30 male, am divorcing my wife, 30 female of 4 years because she did not help me financially when I needed it. I work in a very niche industry, and last year or so has been really difficult due to market conditions. Many of my colleagues got laid off, and so was I. At the time, I had newly refurbished our home, so I was in debt. My wife also works, but she earned less than me back then. I went to her and asked if she can help me while I search for work. I proposed that we should sell some of the gold that was given to us at the wedding. We live in Turkey, and there is a tradition of giving gold to newlyweds to help them financially. These are meant to be used during difficult times. She rejected the idea and said, "I do not want to sell my golds." I tried to reason with her by saying that closing the debt would greatly help us to have a more stable financials. She refused and told me to sort it out myself somehow. I asked her to at least use some of her savings and I can pay it back. Context here is that I let her save most of her earnings while paying most of the things myself due to women being vulnerable to financial changes more than men here. I wanted her to build her own savings and made sure to help her with a retirement account as well. I asked her to give me some of her savings for that, and I can pay her back once I sort myself out. She refused that too. This period has been extremely difficult for me. I fell into depression and contemplated my choices in life. Funny thing is, everything was going great before this, and I thought we would stay together through thick and thin. My older sister helped me to pay the monthly installments during that time. God bless her soul. At the beginning of this year, I found a great job in the same industry and I'm thriving now. I could not look at my wife in the same way after what happened and started divorce talks with a lawyer friend of mine. Last month, I let her know my decision and she was served with divorce papers soon after. For her, apparently, it was an unexpected thing, and she was shocked. She tried to talk me out of it, but I was firm in my decision. Families tend to be involved with each other here, and that was the case for us too. She put families in between as mediators, but I do not want to be married to someone who will not help me during difficult times, especially when I was considering their financial well-being. Most of my family supports my decision, though they would like me to reconsider it if possible. I know every other thing is without a problem, but I cannot get over what happened. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. After marriage, there is only we. We have his income at our income, and we choose to spend them like this. In your case, to build the wife's savings. But when we, that is the unit that is the family of two, gets a lower income, then we need to decide how we are solving it together. She refused that, so she opted out of belonging to a family unit together with OP. The divorce is a logical conclusion of what she already chose to do. Why was the wife so shocked? Is she playing denial game? Not really. It's because she expected him to man up and deal with the situation himself. This has been argued about for years. Women ask why men don't talk to them about their problems. Men say because when they did, they got little to no support and even belittled. The only difference is in this case, the man ended the relationship after realizing he was on his own. So I imagine most of the people in OP's life think he's overreacting by leaving. If this post was in a different subreddit, comments would unfortunately be less supportive. They'd be telling OP his wife isn't his mother, calling him weak and or other something similar. Bingo. I am married and my wife is not like this. But I have married male friends. They tried to open and communicate or hit a rough patch, and their wives were either not supportive or look at them as less after a struggle. And I am African American, and it's 10 times worse in our community. A lot of men feel we were lied to. A lot of talk about women wanting to be equal partners and all that. But if the man loses his job or stumbles, all that stuff goes out the window. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to reconnect with my family who disowned me 22 years ago? Super long story that happened 22 years ago. I'm now a 41 male. I'm one of 4 kids growing up in Adelaide, Australia. I have an older brother and 2 younger sisters. A couple of days after my 19th birthday, the daughter of a close family friends of ours who we considered like family accused me of SA during my birthday party. My family took her side of the story, and I was disowned and kicked out of the family house. I then had to move in with my aunt and her family, who lives in another city, Melbourne, 8 hours away, and had to rebuild my life from the ground up again. Fast forward 22 years later, I went and finished university, met my now wife, and now have a family of my own with 2 young kids, 10-year-old and 7-year-old. My aunt and her husband have been my rock throughout this whole time. They believed in me. It even helped me in those early years to get back on my feet. Even today, my family would be going over to their house on a weekly basis for family meals with her family. Fast forward to about 3 weeks ago in late March. My auntie called to tell me to come over as my father and siblings were at their house and they wanted to speak to me. I was reluctant, but my auntie strongly advised I come, as I want to hear what they now have to say. When I arrived at auntie's place, sure enough, there were my old family, siblings at all. They were just much older now, but it was definitely them. Cut the long story short and give you the gist of it. I asked them what they wanted. My father and siblings spent the next few minutes apologizing and explaining to me that they had just recently found out from the horse's mouth that the accusation was all false. They started crying, begging me for my forgiveness and hoping we could reconnect. When they had their turn to speak, I just calmly told them no and got up to leave. My older brother begged me to stay and try to work this out. He said we were a family. When I heard him say this, I just told them all, no, you're not. They're just strangers to me now. My real family were my aunt and her family. Her sons were my siblings. They were my best men/groomsmen at my wedding. I'd even changed my surname to my aunt's husband's surname. When my father heard this, he completely broke down. I didn't care. I thought I would be angry or something along those lines, but I wasn't. I felt nothing for these people. They were just strangers to me now. I didn't even ask about how the truth came out. I didn't want to know. I didn't care. I told them never to contact me again. They're dead to me, as I was to them all those years ago. At this point, everyone from my old family just broke down and cried. I know their tears were genuine, but again, I felt nothing for them. After this, I just left. My aunt has been checking in on me over the next few days to encourage me to forgive and forget. But I said I had nothing to forgive, as these people were strangers to me. She respected my decision. So am I the a-hole for not wanting to reconnect with my family? Not the a-hole. They didn't give you a chance and sent you out to the wolves. Can't let 2 decades go by and then say, yo, oops, water under the bridge, right? This is my basic impression too. It was 22 years, not 2 years. Why would the OP want to reopen these wounds after more than 2 decades? He's lived more of his life without them than with them. It would be a giant time suck, dealing with it all, and the payoff doesn't seem worth it. At this point, it would be like meeting strangers who insist on not having boundaries. After 22 years, they are strangers, not a family. Even 22 years back, they did not behave like a family. If I was accused of Fast A, my family would believe me unless they saw a solid proof, like a video, because we have a very good relationship and trust built over our whole life. I would try to give them a second chance, but that's me, not you. Not the a-hole, whatever your decision will be. Reminds me of another story that was posted last year in a similar vein. OP was disowned due to a false accusation, and the family wanted to reconnect after finding out it was a lie. I've always wondered, what does the victim get out of reconciliation? It's been years. They're nobody. Why open old wounds for people completely irrelevant to you? There are many stories that are similar. My question is, what happens to the accuser when the truth comes out? Everyone expects for the accused to forgive, but does the accuser ever given the same banishment/punishment as the person they accused? After 2 decades, the answer to your question is almost certainly no. A buddy of mine in university was falsely accused of the same. The accuser simply got a long-term academic probation as punishment. This was 15 years ago. I don't think a lot has changed in that time. I had a friend accused. Turns out he was in an entirely different state on the date she accused him of assaulting her. She just said, oopsie, and accused someone else. Not a damn thing happened to her, not even a slap on the wrist. Next story. Am I the a-hole for airing out my ex-wife's business when she tried to make me seem horrible? Okay, so I'm 30 male and my ex-wife Cindy, 34, share custody of our little girl Autumn, who is 6. We were together 8 years, married for 6, and been divorced for 2. This Wednesday just gone, I had Autumn at my house for the weekend. We were having dinner and watching some kids show I don't remember the name of. One of the characters basically was saying how you should always be kind and spread love and a lot of stuff. And she says that she wished mom was always kind because it upsets her when she isn't. I asked her when she is not kind and was she unkind to her, and she said no, she was unkind about people she cared about. I again asked who is she unkind about. Apparently, me, my family, her sister, and Autumn's school friends. She mentioned what she said and to who she'd heard her say it to, and I comforted her and said I'd try and help the situation. That night, I got in contact with the people Autumn mentioned. A lot of them had been friends of mine and Cindy during our relationship. I had noticed they talked to me less after we divorced, but I just assumed they picked a side or were closer with Cindy. A lot of them confirmed what Autumn had said. I was honestly crushed, because I hated that she was being horrible about me in front of my child, and the fact she was lying about me and the reason we got a divorce. To sum up, during our relationship, these are things Cindy did to me. She was very insecure and would go through my phone and work laptop constantly, deleting contacts, even family members and clients off of them. Changed my social media passwords and said I could only look at them on her phone with her. Accused me of cheating constantly with my coworkers. Would demand sex, and if I said no or didn't want to, she'd accuse me of getting it elsewhere until I gave in. Would stain my clothes on purpose. I did/do and have done my own washing, and then she'd spill stuff in my clothes constantly, even once they were dried away in the drawers I had. Physically hurting me when I tried to leave the house. Insulting my appearance constantly, saying that no one else would want me anyway. Telling me when Autumn was too that she wasn't mine, and showing me proof she'd cheated on me. Autumn is mine. We got a paternity test and a divorce. Telling me no one else would ever love me or want me because of a scar I have. Told me constantly that my family wished it was me that died instead of my brother. I had/have proof of all of this and showed my friends, the ones Autumn mentioned it more, and family. I was tempted to show hers too, but left it at that. I got back to her. She called me screaming and saying I had no right, and she was just venting to her friends. I said you were lying about me and making me sound like a horrible person in front of my daughter. She said that my friends already didn't like me, so why did I matter? And she deserved to be comforted when she was upset. I hung up on her. I'm seriously considering going for full custody or making it, so we don't have to see each other when I pick Autumn up. I want to limit contact as much as possible. I do feel bad now as I get it was private between us, but she didn't honor that, so why should I? Edit. I tried to get full custody at the time of divorcing Cindy. It was ruled that she wasn't a threat to her, and due to my bipolar, I wasn't fit for full custody. Which was ridiculous. I've been medicated since I was 21 and haven't had a mental health breakdown since then. Even with all the stuff I was put through. I also appealed this decision and was met with the same result. I love my daughter and would die for her, and I'm trying to do my best by her. However, it's not an easy situation. At the moment, I make sure all my time with her is happy and full of love, laughter, and fun. I make sure she has everything she needs, and always will do. Now for the top comments. She made it other people's business when she spread lies about you. So no, it wasn't private business between you two anymore. What she did was slander. And if you telling people the truth upsets her, that's her own fault for lying in the first place. Even the fact she needed to lie to be comforted by those people tells you she's an a-hole. So good on you for clearing your name. And who cares what she thinks about it? Also, go for full custody as she's poisoning your daughter against you, which is not good for you as it goes on longer. Thank you. I will be contacting a lawyer ASAP. I'm hoping with my proof of how she is, I can get full custody with visitation, as I wouldn't want to cut her out completely as I know Autumn loves her mom. But I know she'd be safer and happier with me. Not only was it slander, because she said it in front of your daughter, it was parental alienation. Good luck. Sounds like abuse or DV. Is your daughter safe? I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Not a-hole. You didn't deserve what she did to you. You were already very gracious to wait so long to tell people what an abuser she was. Yes, she's safe. Cindy wouldn't hurt her. She just used her as a tool to hurt me. The only thing I can say about her parenting is she's a lazy parent, and healthy food and unclean house, and nothing to mentally stimulate Autumn. She basically just leaves her to her own devices when she's there. I am going to try for full custody again, as is not how I want my child raised. Last story. Am I the a-hole for cutting off my parents because they can't accept the fact I've moved on from my ex so quickly? Hello everyone, I will try to keep this as short as possible, but for some context, I 27 male broke up with my ex because she had an affair 4 to 5 days ago now. I didn't spread bad word about her, I just blocked her everywhere and left a nice note for her. Yesterday, I decided to hang out with someone I met online, which led to me posting a pic on my private story with her. Unfortunately, one of my close friends snitched to my ex about me moving on so quickly, which led to my ex bawling her eyes out to my parents and them scolding me. So I cut off my close friend because he made his choice. In the past few days, I've lost a 7-year relationship and a 10-year friendship with a man who guided me when I came to the UK for university. But to be honest, I felt nothing. No sorrow, just regret with my choices. However, I do feel sorrow with the choice I made today. My parents are complete a-holes. When I ghosted my ex and left without a trace, my ex went to them and started bawling her eyes out. And they scolded me for not hearing out her perspective, which honestly made me chuckle, because what perspective is there? When my friend snitched to my ex telling her that I hanged out with a girl, she once again bawled her eyes out and they scolded me for moving on so quickly. I honestly don't understand why they love her so much but hate me. So I finally had enough and decided to message them telling them I want nothing to do with them and I will block them. However, it seems like they told everyone in my extended family tree, as everyone is against my decision, apart from my siblings as they have first-hand experience about how much of an a-hole my parents are. So am I the a-hole? Is this choice too extreme or am I doing the right thing? My parents are practically fossils as well, so I have to consider this for long term. Edit, my parents know about the affair, but I have crap talked about my ex because I don't care about her anymore. No need to show any feelings towards. That's the best way for revenge. Once they cheat, you can do or date anyone anytime and no one can tell you anything. To hell with all of them. And when someone tells you that your ex is taking it badly, just laugh like you have never laughed before and ask them what did your ex-ho expect, then laugh some more. If she was that upset, she wouldn't have jumped on another dude's lap. Some people have a lot of nerve. Block them all and go have a good time. She lost all rights to you the minute she cheated. Yep, my ex broke up with me. According to the code, I was free to date. I had a few friends get into my case about dating my now wife after my ex broke up with me. It's my life, I do what I want. Did you ever tell and provide evidence that she cheated? When I found out my ex cheated and I was divorcing her, my attorney told me to not play nice. As a matter of fact, he told me if I display nice, he would drop me as a client. Ex told so many lies, including that we were divorcing because I repeatedly beat her, ate her, basically every triggering thing in the book. She also threatened to and then did injure herself, then called the police and have me arrested. When the police showed up to arrest me, I was able to talk to them and show them our text history. They didn't arrest me, but said they were doing a report and submit it, and to expect a call from detectives. I lost a lot of friends and eventually my sisters, because I didn't respond to her accusations. When my attorney finally said those magic words, blow up her world, I did. I forwarded her texts, photos, a copy of the false police report, a copy of the video where she was in bed with her affair partner talking smack about me, etc. Her parents, who repeatedly threatened to remove my existence from this earth, showed up at my door along with my ex's younger sister. They cried as they apologized for what they said and that they believed what she had said. Her dad told me he had disowned her and had thrown her out of his home, and her younger sister told me she refused to let my ex stay with her. Many friends who abandoned me because of what she said apologized, and I still blocked them because they obviously weren't really my friends ever. The ones who stood by me because they did know me and really were my friends, I still have today. Give all these people the information, the knowledge you have about what she has done, and let them figure out what they would have done. Then and only then block them, because they definitely do not have your best interests at heart.